hair looks like shit because it's fucking raining, and ignore all the other shit in the background. The lighting in here fucking sucks, okay? I'm sorry, the fucking lighting sucks, okay? But I'm already in a bad mood, and my hair sucks, and it's gross outside, but it looks really red. That's awesome. I've known for a while that I've wanted to do a video about shit that has happened to me in the worst fucking job I've ever had, working at a grocery store that I won't mention because I don't want to get sued or anything. But it's a little grocery store, and I don't know if they have them anywhere but in the South. But I know they have them like here in Virginia and in North Carolina. So, as you can see, this is going to be a rant. But everybody and their mother who's on YouTube has done a rant about generic type problems that cashiers face. But I decided to try and be a little bit different and pull out some specific examples of shit that has happened to me. So I appropriately have my most memorable moments written down on a piece of receipt paper because I wrote them down while I was at work, being pissed off, and decided that this would be a great fucking video. So I don't know which side that I wrote first, but I am gonna just start this first story. One time, there was this lady who only had like a handful of things. She had maybe 5 things. She had like 2 tops and or a dress or something. I don't remember. It was clothes. This was a while ago. It was clothing, and then she had like a tube of toothpaste and like a toothbrush and things like that. Nothing that would leak. Nothing like that. So I was like, oh, this woman only has like a handful of things. Let me not give her 5 bags for each item. I folded the shirts up nicely, appropriately, put them in the bag, and then I was looking, she only had like 2 other things, so I was like, why would I put that in a whole nother bag and have 2 like basically empty bags for her? So I went ahead and just put them on top, and then this woman goes, oh, she goes, oh, no, 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 no. You don't put that on top of clothes. And like laughs at me and starts putting the stuff in a different bag. So I'm just like, I rolled my eyes at her like, so then she gets all close and she's like, you have a bad attitude for a cashier. And I'm like, bitch, you've never met a cashier. Because we all fucking hate our jobs pretty much. So that lady pissed me off. And she had a fucking mullet. Like, can we just, like, on that for a second? Like, when is the last time you've ever seen a woman with a mullet? She was like some leather-faced, blonde-ass woman in like an oversized Longwood University t-shirt and like some cut off acid wash shorts and probably Crocs, but I didn't see her feet because I was like, this bitch. So when she told me I had a bad attitude, I was just like, well, let me not say anything to this woman for the rest of our transaction. I only said like the necessary things, like I gave her total. I took the card, I swiped it because we don't have one of those things where you can swipe it yourself. So I did that shit. And then it was a credit card, so I was like, oh, can you sign this for me, please? And she's like, where is your manager? She was like, I want to talk to your manager. So I was like, well, he's like busy right now. And he was like, the manager was in like the bitchiest mood that day. So I was like, you definitely don't want to talk to the manager today because he's in a bad mood. And she's like, no, I definitely want to because I want to complain about the way you treated me today. Because I rolled my fucking eyes at her. So she's like trying to find the manager, and Eric was off somewhere because he was fucking pissed too. And then Eric comes back and is like, what? And I looked at him dead in the eye and I said, this woman wants to say that I have a bad attitude because she didn't like the way I bagged the things. And instead of politely asking me to rebag them, or could you put that in a separate bag, please, or anything like that, she just did it herself and laughed at me. And then I rolled my eyes at her and continued the transaction. And he said, you dumb fucking bitch, like in those words, and walked away. And then like the sweetest old lady comes up behind line behind her and was like, I'm so sorry you have to deal with that, sweetheart. So at least somebody in the world like understands that it's not my fault. If she wanted it in a separate bag, she could have said, hey, can you put that in a different bag for me, please? Instead of being like, oh, no, no, no. And she did. Like, she waved her finger at me and everything. And I was like, bitch. She's like, I don't think I'm going to shop here anymore. And I was in my head like, good. Ugh. Oh, my God. One time, there was this guy who, like, bought a whole bunch of clothes and came through line and, like, threw it up on top of, because we don't have a belt. We have like a little table type situation going on. So he just like threw everything up on the table on top of himself, and I'm just like bringing everything up, like this is a lot of shit, and I was kind of pissed off that he kind of threw it up there all at once like that. Like, your total is like $115. It was something, it was like over $100. It was a lot. And he goes, oh, hell no. Read me everything on there. There's no way this total costs that much. And so I like go back through his 50 items or what the fuck ever and read out this was this, and this was this, and this was this, as he checks the tags. And I'm like, you fucking kidding me? You're wasting my time. So he was like, picked out one pair of $15 jeans and was like, I'm not going to get these. And I said, okay. And so I avoided it from the transaction and laid them over like the thing on the side. Then I'm sitting there staring at him with like the most awkward stare fest ever because I expected, like, that's not going to make your total that much cheaper. I'm just like still sitting here waiting. And he's like, well, aren't you going to bag it? He like, I just read him the new total and he didn't say like if that was okay. So I was waiting for him to ask to take more shit off because it was still like $100. So I don't know what the fuck is wrong with him. And I really want to say, well, aren't you going to fucking pay for it first? He ain't even paid for it. I don't want to bag all this shit and he'd be like, no, that's still too much. I think I'm not going to get these too and these. And you have to dig that all out now. So yes, I was fucking waiting for you to decide whether you were going to get this shit or not because you didn't communicate anything to me. And then this bitch. So there was this bitch who, it was like just at a shift change. So it was like maybe 10 after 3 and it was really fucking busy because it was the beginning of the month. And there was all kinds of people waiting in line. And she'd been waiting for like 20 minutes and she gets like $10 worth of stuff and then hands me a $100 bill. And we only start our till with $100. So I was like, I can't break that. And she was like, excuse me? And I said, we can't break that. And she's like, well, you better go get it, honey. Whoa, bitch, back the fuck up. And so I had to call my manager who was pulling other people's tills still. So she was like upstairs and couldn't be disturbed. It was like, hey, this lady has a $100 bill and doesn't have anything else. First of all, she said that she did have, I was like, you don't have a debit card or anything? She's like, I do, but I don't want to use it. Bitch! So yeah, I had to call my manager and tell her that I needed to change for the 100, and she was like, I'm not sure that we have this up here because Eric just went to the bank. I had to run to the back of the store and go upstairs and get her to go through the safe to see if she could break that $100. And finally she did, and it was mostly in fives. So I go back down there, and then this bitch is like, is it hot in here to you? Like, it's fucking hot in here. Do you think it's hot in here? And I looked at her dead in the eye and said so flatly, yeah, I'm hot, but I just had to run all the way up the stairs and back. Recently, there was an incident where this like woman started coming up through the line, and I said, oh, hello, like I'm supposed to fucking do. And she didn't say anything back for like a good 30 seconds. And then she said, hello. And then she started handing me this shit. And I thought she was responding to, oh. So I thought she was responding to my hello when she said hello. So I go to take the item, and she's still holding on to it. And I'm like tugging it a little bit, like, bitch, let go. She won't let go of this shit. So then she's like, hello. Hello? And then she let it go. And that was weird. There's some nasty shit on here, but I'm gonna wait and do that all at the end so we can end it on a really disgusting note, okay? One time this woman came through my line and she had a debit card and she only had like $4 worth of stuff. So I like swiped the card and she put it in her pin like normal, and then I was waiting for it to go through on the screen, and then this message popped up that says card declined. And so I turned to her and I say, ma'am, your card was declined. And she looks at me, says, well, try it again. Money, bitch, your card was declined. And so I did it again, and I was like, ma'am, your card's still declined. She's like, well, I don't understand how that's possible. I know I have money. Do you want to see my bank statement? Like, basically. And then she was like pulling it up on her phone. I was like, ma'am, I don't want to see your finances. I just want to know if you're going to pay for this or not. And she was like, yeah, I guess. And she whips out like $100 bill. Like, what the fuck? Another thing that old people do is that they come through your line and they want to pay by check, which is fine because we take checks and it's just part of my job. It's a little obnoxious, but like, I'm going to do it. So they hand it to you and then you look at it and it's blank and you're like, ma'am, you need to fill this out for me. And they're like, oh, honey, can you fill it out because I can't see? You can't see? I left my glasses at home. Okay, I think this is illegal, but okay, I just gotta get you the fuck out of my line. So I start like filling it out, and I'm like, can you sign this? And then we sign it. And then we scan it through the computer, and then it asks for your driver's license so that we can verify that you are the one that's using your check and not somebody who just like fucking robbed you or some shit. So then she like whips out this driver's license and hands it to me. Ma'am, this happened this year. Your driver's license expired in June of 2010. And she goes, oh, Lord. I was like, holy shit. This blind ass bitch has been driving around with unlicensed for 4 fucking years. Oh, shit. So I put in the number and it went through. So I don't know, maybe she's got another license somewhere and that was just the wrong one. That's fucking horrifying. Another thing that like pissed me the fuck off is actually like the only other coworker complaint, and that one of my coworkers came through my line while she was off work, and she was like, "Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you." I was like, "What?" She's like, "How does it feel that you've gained weight?" I was like, "Whoa! Hold the fucking phone." She's like, but I mean, it looks good. It looks good. It looks good. I just mean, like, you look like you have more life to you now, and I wonder, like, how you felt about that. Like, are you okay with it, or are you gonna like try and lose the weight? I didn't honestly know what to fucking say to that, and I was like, it's fine. But yo, I hardly know you. I see you for maybe 7 hours a day, 5 times a week. You don't need to fucking be asking me about my personal life. We have a professional relationship. What the fuck? Like, that is none of your business. Like, what the fuck? And I said there was nasty stuff, so I guess it's time for the nasty shit. Some literal shit later, but right now we'll start with not literal shit. One time, I was walking, trying to recover because it was close to closing, and I noticed that there was like some goo in the floor, and I was like, ew, what the fuck? And so I like leaned down to look at it and realized that there was a bottle of Summer's Eve. It was like vagina wash was spilled on the floor. So I was like, oh fuck, let me get the mop and clean that up before someone slips in the vagina stuff and dies in a vagina death. So I go to the back to get the mop bucket to like mop up the vagina goo, and I get to the back and I'm like, something stinks back here. And so I go into the supply closet and I roll out that mop bucket, and as soon as I get into the light, there's like chunks, chunks of food, of semi-digested food in the mop bucket. Somebody vomited in the mop bucket. What the fuck? And didn't tell anyone. And the worst part is that there's the fucking bathroom right next to it. I'm so fucking glad I wasn't here at this time, but later, one day I came in for an evening shift, and one of the other employees, the one that asked me how I feel about being fat, came up to me and was like, just so you know, the bathroom is closed. Not knowing any better, I'm like, oh, is something broken in there? And she's like, someone had an accident. I was like, ew, that's disgusting. So I'm like, I don't even want to go back there. So somebody else, like the manager, comes up to me who was on duty, and she's like, did you hear about the bathroom? And I was like, someone had an accident in there? And she was like, it wasn't an accident. She was like, I went in there and I almost vomited. When I opened the door, there was a soiled diaper in the floor. And I was like, ew. And she's like, I was like a baby diaper? And she's like, no, an adult diaper. There was an adult diaper filled with poo in the floor. Like, what the fuck? And then I was like, that's disgusting. And she was like, but it wasn't just in the floor. It was on the walls. It was on the stalls. This fucking rhymes. No, it was on the wall. It was on the stall. It was on the mirror. It was on the faucet. It was on the back of the door. Like someone, and you could see like handprints in it. Like someone actually spread their shit all over the fucking bathroom. And we actually had to call in a cleaning team to come clean it. And because of that shit, ha, we are not allowed to let people use the bathroom anymore because the a privilege has been abused many times now, and this was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. So now people are like yelling in our faces up at the register because we're like, oh, I'm sorry, there's no public bathroom anymore. And like, if somebody asks why, I'm gonna tell them because someone spread their shit all over the wall. Okay. Okay, this video has taken 30 minutes of filming, so I'm gonna